Oh. Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to everyone, we welcome to the Sri Sathya Sai Center of Arcadia. Now we are going to start the study circle on the Gita Vahini, the commentary written by Swami on Bhagavad Gita. So we are going to start on page 21, if you have the book hard copy, where in the last paragraph, if Arjuna has by his efforts won control over. And if you must have received the e-copy in the email. I know Monday they sent it. So to just you can go back if you didn't receive. Today I think probably there was no attachment. I didn't see it. If not, you can send it. Now if people who need it, we can send it. So, but it was sent on the Monday email. So there at the page number 16 where it starts. So last week, for the sake of continuity, what we did discuss, main aspect is Sharanagati, surrender, because in the 9 types of devotion, that is the last word, Atma Nivedanam. So where we talked and Swami nicely explained, there are different stages, different ways people surrender. One is, the classical example is, Lord, you are ours, you belong to us. So just people, they were possessive, they think that only God is for them. That is one thing. Like the greatest example is Yadavas, during Lord Krishna's time, because they belong to the family, they claimed he belongs to us. So that is a sense of possessiveness, and that is not ideal bhakti. That is why what happened at the end, they were all destroyed. All the Yadavas were gone. Yadava clan was gone. Similarly, Swami himself said when he was very young, at the age of 14, he doesn't belong to any particular family. The whole all the devotees he has come for. So nobody can claim they possess him. Second, next stage is, we belong to you, Lord, we belong to you. That is Gopikas. They always think they are the devotees of Lord Krishna. That is the right attitude. So we belong to the Lord. But ultimately, when we practice more and more the devotion, the last stage comes, Tvamevaham. Lord, you and I are one. That is why we say in the Swami's name, Sai, S-A, and I are one. So that is the ultimate thing. Even Lord Jesus, first he said, I am messenger of God. That means I am servant of Lord. And then he said, I am son of God. Because the same qualities, love, compassion, sacrifice. Finally, what did he say? I and my Father are one. He realized the identity with the divine. So that is the stage. We also need to, and even Hanuman, Swami was the greatest example. He also said the same thing. He was always involved in service of Rama. So that is why he went in search of Sita and did a lot of service. That is why he advises the great devotee called Vibhishana, why you are so near and dear to Lord Rama, whereas I also chant Lord Rama's name all the time, but why is not? He says, I know you chant the name, but you don't do his work. So if you want to be really both dear and near to God, not only you chant name, which is good, purifies, but do his work. It means part of his mission. So he took part in the mission of Lord Rama, Hanuman. So went to Sri Lanka in search of Mother Sita. So he did the work. Always he was involved in serving the Lord. So that is what, if you want to really near, Swami said that many times. So not only you just repeat the name, but you do my, not only Rama Nam, Rama Kam. That means work, you should do that. That is why when he did that ultimate stage, he reached where he felt Lord Rama and him are one. So that is the, what Swami says, the highest stage called Avibhakta Bhakti. Bhakti is first is you separate, God is there, you are here. That is why in the famous prayer, Christian prayer, Father, thou art in heaven, hallowed be the name. You are in heaven, you think you are somewhere else. But real thing is, Swami says, God is not there. God is here and now with us. We should feel He is with us, sitting, because He repeatedly said, yeah, I'm inside you, around you, above you, below you. We should not think like a statement. It should be really a practical experience, which Swami has given to many people. So that is the ultimate, in Sharanagati we should feel God and we are one. And then last week we also talked about Gudakesha and Rishikesha. Gudakesha is Arjuna, who has conquered his senses, who have conquered sleep, because he was always one-pointed in his goal, how to achieve. But even he was deluded whether to fight or not fight, because of his body attachment to his kith and kin and family. But then the Lord Krishna, who is Lord Krishna? Hrishikesha. What is Hrishika means? Senses. He is the Lord of the senses. The senses listen to him. So you surrender to Lord Krishna, we also can control our senses much better, because that is the one which take us astray, our senses. That is why, what did the Swami's formula? So bend the body. It means bend the body is not just bending, then when we get old, lot of us bend the body. That is not. Bend the body means bend the body in the service of God. Always get involved. Bend the body means get involved body in serving people. And mend the senses, that is control the senses. It means you cannot really come, it is difficult, but you can direct the senses. If you want to see something exciting vision, so instead of seeing God's movies, Swami's videos, or some saints videos, you can see Jesus, anything you can see. So, and if you want to hear something, instead of hearing slander, gossip, rumors, here bhajans, nice bhajans are there, Swami stories are there. So this is how, in the beginning, it is we can control the senses instead of getting involved in the worldly things, whether seeing, hearing. So it is amazing. The other day I was telling, I think, yeah, we had this celebration in Premanilayam. I had to stay in a hotel close by because we had to get up early, go for the meeting, stay till night. So I never watched TV for almost 25 years. So I was having breakfast. I didn't even look at the TV. I was talking to them, but still in the background, that person was killed, this guy got here. All negative. How people watch that, and your mind can really get disturbed. So always you think this guy, that accident, this killing, that killing. So that is why instead of watching, that is why Swami says television is televisham. That means poison. Poison. Now I can understand, because even those 3 minutes I was eating breakfast, the background noise itself was disturbing. So we should be careful what we hear, what we see, and what we talk about. You talk about Swami's glory. Sing Swami's bhajan. So all the eyes, how you use ears, how you use speech. And if you want to go into movie house, go to the temple, where, like here you came. That is how the feet are used to come to holy places and holy grounds. And hands, instead of doing sundry, use it for worship of the Lord. Like that, every sense organ you try to use in the the worship of God. So that is how finally a stage will come. You will find, that is why Swami said the most important thing is, even Lord Krishna, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sammahatma. You should think everything finally. First you think is Swami is in this center, in the temple, in one place, Kashi or Mecca or Jerusalem. But a stage will come, he is not only there, he is everywhere with you all the time. That is the realization. And everything is Vasudevam. That means there is nothing but every atom, every cell, every moment is permeated by the divine. That is the goal for all of us. So God is not only there, He is here and now with us and always. So that is another thing we discussed last thing. Now we can continue from there on page 21.
If Arjuna has, by his efforts, won control over his senses and earned the name Gudakesha, Krishna as Rishikesha is the presiding deity of all the senses. On the field of Kurukshetra, both are in the same chariot, one as learner and the other as teacher. What exactly is the cause of all grief? It is the attachment to the body that produces grief as well as its immediate precursors, affection and hate. These two are the results of the intellect considering some things and conditions as beneficial and some other things and conditions as not. This is a delusion, this idea of beneficence and malevolence. Still, you get attached to objects that are considered beneficial and you start hating the others. But from the highest point of view, there is neither, the distinction is just meaningless. There are no two at all. How can there be good and bad then? To see two where there is only one, that is Maya or ignorance. The ignorance that plunged Arjuna into grief was of this nature, seeing many when there is only one. I can stop here.
Yeah.
So this is, I think most of us read this many times and discuss. So we all know the problem. So the point here is that we see, and the root cause of this ignorance is the body consciousness. So we see too because we ourselves separate. So we are separate, and each and everything what we see is separate. So that ignorance automatically starts. So when you go to sleep, it's actually a discussion that comes with Ramana Maharshi, and he says what happens when you wake up. When we wake up, really, the moment just before that I woke up, that I comes into the picture. Before that moment, we are all realizing that everything is one. The moment after that, we see that we are separate. And that's where the ignorance starts, the morning, and then it goes on and on and on. Here it is, again, what made Arjuna to think it's my people. If it is not my people, he would have killed them in no time. But he found that it is my people I'm killing, and that's why he doesn't want to do it. So that is the ignorance which the Lord is going to advise. I mean, that's the teaching of the whole Gita. Mine and thine, how we remove it. Once we do that, then the ignorance is gone. So,
Yeah, the whole problem in life, that's what even Lord Buddha, why did he go in search of cessation of grief? Nobody wants to have grief, right? Nobody wants sorrow. Everybody wants to be happy because our very nature is Ananda. We are Ananda Swarupas, embodiment of bliss. That is why even starting from ant, those are the highest Brahma, who is the creator, they say everybody is in such a bliss because that is our very nature. That is why in Taittiriya Upanishad, that is Anandavalli, that is what it says, our very nature is bliss. But bliss is much more. We are in think of Manushyananda, that means human happiness. That is good too. They define one unit, we talked about it before, just for reminding. A person who is young, say in their 20s and 30s, everybody wants to be ever youthful. A person who is young, who is physically strong, okay, and who is very healthy, maybe physical, and who is highly intellectual, very sharp in his intellect and achieved everything, who is very wealthy, he has lots of wealth, and is also very powerful because he has all the power, and he has name and fame. Is there anything missing, anything else you want? Because some people have money, but they may not have intellect. Some people have intellect, no money. Some people have these two, they don't have power. Some people, so he has all the things. And also youthful. As you become old, your faculties go down. So you're young, energetic, physically strong, intellectually sharp, and then also he has name, money, and wealth, and power. And most important, last word he adds in Taittiriya Upanishad, noble character. He is always high ideals, high principles, want to think of God, think of helping society. So that is one unit of Manushyananda, that one unit. That itself people are happy. If you have that, most of the people, if I have all that, I don't care for anything else. But there are different grades. I don't want to go into that. Then Manushya Gandharvananda and Deva Gandharvananda, Prajapati Ananda, Bruhaspati. So it becomes 10 to the power of 18. That is quintillion, that is called. I never even know that things. First is billion, we know trillion, this is quintillion. That much time, that is Brahmananda. That is the real bliss. So to get that, what we need to do? We need to sacrifice, have the mastery of the senses, as the Swami said, bend the body, mend the senses, and end the mind. That is the whole thing. That is the reason for all our suffering. That is why he said, why do you have grief? The mind. So, manaya manushyanam karanam bandhamocha. This is responsible for bondage and happiness. So, like the key, beautiful example. You turn it to one side, it unlocks the door. You turn to other side, it locks the door. So, similarly, if you turn the mind towards God and good things, so you will become a good man and a God man. If you turn to the worldly attachments, mundane things and bad things, you will become bad person and you will get a lot of sorrow and grief. So the whole problem, the grief, is Swami said only two things. One is attachment to the body, dehabhimanam, attachment to the human. Oh, I am this, I am. And second is raga and dvesha. That means something you like, something you dislike. We all have that, right? Even including food or people and things. I like that, I don't like that. So there are 9 planets. They do the puja. Even other people believe 9 planets control the thing. So you do the worship for the 9 planets so that we don't have the negative influence of the 9 planets. But Swami said there are no 9 planets to influence your happiness and misery. Only 2 planets.
Raga, Dvesha.
Raga and Dvesha, likes and dislikes. Say, you have 1,000 likes and 1,000 dislikes, you will be the most miserable guy. You cut it down to only 100 and 100, you will be a little bit happier. You have only 10 likes and 10 dislikes, you will be much better, more happy. You have 1 like and 1 dislike, almost there. The no likes and no dislikes, you are always in bliss. So ultimate stage is progress from this. So those are the 2 planets which is bothering us. We can analyze whenever we want, whenever we are upset, we are grief or sorrow. Why? Because what you want, you don't get. What you don't want, you get. Both will make you happy. Because I want that, it doesn't happen. You want a nice car, something, you don't get it. People don't have a house. And what you don't want, you get sickness or your car breaks down. You don't want that to happen, and then you become miserable. So, but when you take everything as prasad of the Lord, everything as gift, so no more likes, no more dislike, then you're always happy. So that is what, so we should analyze why we should have that. That is why Lord Buddha, who has everything, that is why he has Manushyananda, everything. But he was a young man that time when he left. He was less than 30 years old. He left in search. And he has beautiful family, he has a beautiful wife and child. And he's a wonderful kingdom. And he has got a beautiful palace and people who can work with him. And he is a good man also. He had good character. He had everything. But he was then seeing there's so much grief in the world. Why they so much grief? Because you see everybody get old age, sickness, death. So then he went for where can you get the permanent bliss? That is why he searched for it and showed the way of nirvana, which is same thing, attaining a bliss by following the middle path. So this is very important. So to remember first why grief and how to transcend grief. Once you know the cause, you can work on that. So that is the two important concepts we have here. We talked about things. Go ahead. Continue. Anybody, any comments or questions, please go ahead. Because that is why you are doing a meeting in person. But take the microphone and talk if you are going to make comments and questions. Okay, go ahead.
Absence of the knowledge of the identity of tattvam. The word tattva, used to mean principle, enshrines this great philosophical doctrine, is the cause of all ignorance. If this truth is not learnt, man has to flounder in the ocean of grief. But if it is learnt, and if man lives in that consciousness, then he can be free from grief. Many a prescription is recommended, used, publicized, and repeated parrot-like by all kinds of quacks, but they do not go to the root of the matter. They are bombs applied to the eye to cure an ache in the stomach. The disease and the drug have no coordination. The ache must be stopped and diagnosed, and the drug must be such as will remove it. Then alone can it be cured. Narayana is the only medical expert who can do so. He has diagnosed Arjuna's illness correctly and decided on the treatment. The Swami is going to go over the treatment. Want the next paragraph?
Yeah.
The wound that will not be healed by external application of bombs has to be cured by internal remedies. So, Krishna prodded Arjuna with queries. Why do you weep like a coward? Is it because Bhishma, Drona, and the rest are about to be killed? No. You weep because you feel they are your men. It is egoism that makes you weep. People weep not for the dead, but because the dead are theirs. Have you not killed until now many who were not yours? You never shed any tears for them. Today you weep, since you are under the delusion that these whom you see before you are somehow yours in a special way. When you sleep, you are unaffected by this feeling of I and mine. So, you are unaware that what happens to your body or the bodies of these your men or to your possessions, items which you carefully remember while awake. Mine is the possessive case of I, and so it comes in its trail. The fundamental ignorance My dear fool, is the identification of yourself with something that is not you, with thy body. Deha, material body, is anatma, non-self. You believe that it is the Atma, divine self. What a topsy-turvy bit of knowledge is this? To cure this ajnana, I must administer the medicine of jnana, wisdom itself. So, very clearly, Swami has identified the problem, the body consciousness. The main thing is that it is non-self and identifying that as divine self. That is the problem, Swami says. And for this ajnana, this ignorance, the medicine is jnana. That's so cute example is you're applying balm in the head when it's a stomach ache. So this happens many times because when we go to, so we all think, even going to temples, many feel that, go around the pradakshina. It's all good. Nobody's. But what is important is if we go into, like, for example, Krishna's temple with Gita, or, we practice the teachings of the Lord, what He has given. That will take us faster. And here, what important thing is that I and mind, removing I and mind, it's a very, very important thing. And going on doing this sadhana principle, at one point of time with Swami's grace, it will happen. Again, the jnana, first we need to know what to practice, and that is what is coming further along.
So here we talked about also in the previous paragraph, Swami talked about we are in all the realm of duality, right? So the whole thing is we think I am separate, this whole creation, I see people around, everything separate, and God is separate. That is the whole illusion. So finally he says everything is divine. You are God, the whole creation what you see is God, and the Ishvara is God. So Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara, this is all the three, call their things separate, but all are one. That is the realization. So Swami says this Dvaita principle, duality, that is why most of the religions are dualistic. They think God is separate, Maya are separate, whether Christianity, Judaism, all this talk about God is separate from us. So but Swami clearly says dual mind is half blind. So if you're dual, you're still blind, half blind. Something you are seeing, but really you are not having. Dual mind is half blind. But the real knowledge is Advaita Darshanam Jnanam. The real thing is only when you realize that oneness, that is knowledge. So that is the reason Lord has come for us, so that we seek what He came to give us, so that ultimately He will fulfill our desires, so that ultimately we go to Him for the thing He has come to give, liberation itself. So we all have one common disease. Everybody has it. Some people have different things, diabetes, some blood pressure, some cancer, some skin problems, some other headache or migraine, different diseases. But one is common to all. What is that? Bhavaroga. That means, that is why we say, Dustara Bhavasa Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam, Dustara Bhavasagara Charanam. This bad disease, Bhavaroga, is the one which is causing all problem. Everybody got it. Whether you are a saint or a sinner, whether you are a king or a pauper, or whether you are a scholar or ignoramus, everybody has this Bhava Roga. So everybody. So what is the solution? Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam. Hold on to the feet of the Lord. Surrender. And He will show. That is why as Lord Krishna is showing the path to Arjuna, hey, they follow this path. Then finally Arjuna says, Karishe Vachanam Tava. Lord, I will implicitly follow your command. So Swami has given so many instructions. So we need to implicitly follow that, and you will reach the goal. Then you know how to get rid of this Maya. What is Maya is nothing that is complicated. People imagine. I and mine is the warp and woof of Maya. That is the whole thing is that. Always we get caught up in that. So for that, the solution is we talked about the whole world. Maya is like a net. So either become so small, you come out of the whole of the Maya net. You can become very small, like we talked about Nag Mahasaya. That means you become so humble with bhakti. Lord, Naham Naham Tuhu Tuhu. I don't exist, only Lord, you are everything. Like all the great devotees like Mirabai, Tyagaraja, Ramdas, Surdas, Purandardas, and great mystics, Sufi mystics or Christian mystics. So all those people, they think God all is matters, nothing you. Or you become you become so big that everything is you. That is the real tattva he is talking about. We forgot our reality. Reality is the Atma tattva. Atma tattva is everything is Atma. Whether it is the so-called sentient and insentient thing. That means whether it is a phone, microphone, this table, everything is that. Like they expand, like Ramana Maharshi, great Advaitic Master Vivekananda, they expanded themselves to so high that the whole universe is nothing but the manifestation of the divine. That is the Atma. That is the another way. So either way, that is the path of jnana. Either use the path of bhakti, where you say, Lord, you are everything, I am nothing, or I am everything, expand, which is difficult. That is the path of Advaita. That's why we talked last week also. To attain that highest stage, there are two methods. Nirakara, Nirguna worship, Sakara, Saguna worship. 90% of the people in the path of spirituality are into Saguna Sakara. They want a form, they want a name, they want a place. That is what, because we have body consciousness, that is it. That is the beginning, it is good. But finally, you should come to the Nirakara, Nirguna, that is the ultimate, where you can see him in everything, everywhere, ever. That is the whole thing. But that is not easy. You have to start somewhere. And people ask Swami how to go to this highest Nirguna. Through the form, you go to the formless. But don't get stuck. That this is, don't, as Swami Vivekananda said, don't start your religion in a temple or a mosque or a synagogue and end dying there. You should see such that you expand it, so you should be able to see your beloved wherever you have. That is the real ultimate goal. So we should always think, am I really stuck? Like you can be in the primary, some people, like in medical school, we started on 50 and some of 30 people graduate. Others get stuck in one first year itself, about 3 years, they repeat second year. So don't get stuck. So just move forward. So just that is what we have. That each one of us know that by self-analysis. It is nice to have this worship in the thing, but we should analyze whether it's really keeping me connected to God. Otherwise, you are so much stuck in those, you forget the ultimate purpose. That is why Swami says Tattvam is important. That is why we sing this beautiful bhajan, remind me, my Lord, remind me who I am. That means you are not saying we are not going to become something different. We forgot we are divine. So Lord, come and remind me. That means how do you remind me? In this world of delusion, get rid of all the delusion, attachments and all that. Then, oh, I forgot I was already Brahman, I am nothing. You are not good. Something you get always you lose. Anything you lose, whether it is a house, family, everything you get one day lose. But you are already that permanently, so there is nothing question of losing. We forgot about that reality. So that is what, but as I said, Swami is telling, parrot like you can repeat, like even me, anybody scholars, they go on repeating that. Swami says, platform heroes,
Practical
zeros. So main thing is putting into practice really. That is why the Pandita here is Swami said, this Arjuna also is not an ordinary guy. He has Pashpatastra, he is so powerful, he learned everything from Dronacharya. But when the time of crisis comes, when challenge came, he failed the time. But anyway, finally he passed the test because of thing. So how do you, so that is the shows where your strength is. Spirituality gives you strength, to face that. That is why they say spirituality is not immunity in difficulties, but peace in difficulties. Even though everybody will have difficulties, that is the nature of things. That is why Lord Buddha said, "Kshanikam, kshanikam, dukkham, dukkham." And even Lord Krishna says, "Dukkhalayam ashashvatam." What is the definition of this word? He says, Devalayam means temple of God. Dukkhalayam means it is a temple of grief, pain, dukkham. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam, temporary. So that we go on, and same thing, Lord. So that is the part of it. But in that, we need to how to get the blaze. That is why the Lord has come to show. That is where you knowledge of anatma and atma. Try to differentiate this thing and try to get this delusion, that attachment. So it is not come because we go on hearing all the time, I am this, I am that, your mind will be there. So you need to counter, first get rid of what was already, deprogram yourself. First, what is all you trained. So over lifetimes, we think is this body, mind, and intellect. So you need to deprogram and think, I am God, divine. And accordingly, you may go on saying, I am God, but you behave like a devil. That is no good. You can say, that's why it says parrot like, you can go, I am God. Even grandphone, take recorder, a CD you put, and it will go on saying, I'm God. That will become divine. No, you need to live that. So that is why I say, don't parrot like. For that, you need to live like God. That means you should have divine love. You should have compassion. You should be ready to sacrifice. So you should be kind. You should not be jealous. You should not be envious, not arrogant. Not so. All those qualities are the divine qualities. Then, when you have divine qualities, you can assert confidently that I'm divine because I have the divine qualities. That is what reason why you need to practice. That is why here this says, Swami said, these pandits go on repeating the thing. That this is Vedas, Shastras. You can do that. That's good to know their scriptures are nothing but the voice of God. But more important is practice. He gives a definition who is a pandit. What do you think a pandit is? The one who knows Vedas, who knows the scriptures, or who knows Shastras, Bhagavatam? No. He says, first thing in the chapter 2, it says, Sochyan anvasochastvam prajnavadamsi gatasuna agatasuncha nanu sochanti panditaha. Who is a pandita? He doesn't grieve over the people who are gone, dead, or people who are living. So most of our thing is somebody dies, closed one, you worry, or somebody living, your kith and kin have suffering problem, you worry. So the real Pandit is the one who doesn't worry about anything. So the minute we have grief, that means we are not a Pandita. We still have to work on that. So first definition of Lord Krishna, Pandita is that. And second important definition also Lord Krishna says, and Pandita Samadarshana. They're all equal-minded. So there is a famous sloka there also in Gita. It says, Sunichaivasya pakecha pandita samadarshanaha. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini. That means they may see a nice great pandit or great brahmin, a great saint, or untouchable, something who is not a highly evolved person. For them it is both same. Or they see an elephant or they see a dog, for them they take. So there is all the things they look. Important definition of Pandita there is Samadarshana. They're all equal-minded. So whether if you're Pandit, we should be equal-minded. So, but naturally we are not. So just we can take the pairs of opposites, we give importance to some. So at least we have this basic concept. At least we have a goal. Hey, this is what we have to do. Get rid of these two planets, likes and dislikes. Like work on this. No grief. Try to not be worried about things. Work for the highest. Really know our real nature. So these are the basic concepts we should at least remember. And go to God says, you go hold on to my feet. Dustara Bhavasagara Charanam. I will take you assurance. Who will give you? So Swami said we should have that faith. We have the great master of masters, universal teacher, the Lord of Lords. So we have him. He showered his grace. So let us hold on to him, follow his
That's the
teachings,
question.
and we'll reach the goal. Yeah, okay.
Is there any sadhana, activity, or practice to be done regularly to separate myself from my body? Do bhajan, study circle, or seva help for this? I ask because we feel inspired to cultivate body attachment, but struggle to remove I and mine.
Yeah, this is all constant practice. That's why Arjuna asked that question. God, I can mean, because as I said, mind is the responsible for bondage and liberation. So he says, I can hold vayu in my hand. I can hold air. You can you hold air? I can't hold air in my hand. He says, I can hold the air, but I can't control the mind. Arjuna says, please help me. He tells Krishna. Do you know what the reply Krishna gives? Asamshay Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam. God is telling, that means no doubt, my friend, mind Durnigraham Chalam. It is not only, it is always fickle minded. That's why Swami says fickle and Durnigraha, very, very difficult to control. God is telling, no doubt, my friend, what your question is right. Mind is very fickle and is difficult to control. Because mind, we always talked about mind is not like a monkey mind, or monkey is a mad monkey, and mad monkey which has drunk alcohol and somebody went and pinched it. So it jumps all over. So mind, we all can say just, that's why 5 minutes, just sit meditation, that time you'll know why we can only focus on light or Swami, you'll be going on some other. But how do you control? Then he gives the answer. Abhyasena tu kauncheya vairagyena tu gruhyate. Two solutions. One is detachment. So if you are too much attached to your family, friends, or your property, your bank balance, your job, or whatever it is, whatever you attach, the more you are attached, all these things are like strings that are binding you. You can imagine yourself, you are there, this thread holding to the family, this for the property, this for the job, or that for the name and fame. You're bound, you're strung all over. So you need to get rid of the one after another. This way Swami says properties are not proper ties. So people are just too much involved. So all these things slowly you need to cut down and try. The more you are attached to God, automatically you are detached from the world. It's very secret. You don't need to struggle. As he was asking the question, the minute you go on singing his bhajans, thinking about it, listen to his stories, and doing his work, automatically you're involved in God's things. So automatically you're, during the times, like we were all involved in recent activities, that time you are talking about God, singing his glories, repeating this, automatically you're not thinking about all those attachments. First is be attached to God, detachment, and then naturally. Second is abhyasa, constant practice. Constantly you need to, because mind will go there constantly, it goes there, you practice, then it will happen. So these are the two things. Detachment for that thing, for that you need to do that practice, what we asked about, doing bhajans, doing the service, and singing his glory, and satsang. All this will help for that to get thing, and this practice is important. But all these things, sometimes you won't get detachment. You need to see whether my mind is really detached. Sometimes you get attached. I have seen people who do service. You say, I will, let me do this thing. They want to be the possessive of that. Even there you can get attached. Even though it is a good attachment, there is an attachment. That is why my mother, this Teresa of Avila, she's a Carmelite sister. She's a great lady. That is why even Santa Teresita Hospital, we have, that is a lot of Carmelite order that is very noble, wonderful people. So she used to say, Bible, they get attached to the Bible. You are, oh, that's my Bible. Even the seats we sit, sometimes even it happens. Oh, this is my seat. I'm sitting all the time. Then you get attached to that seat. So this is subtle attachment. So she made sure the Bible every month the sisters, one after another, they should, your Bible you should give to somebody else. Their Bible, somebody else. So that you don't get to your own Bible. That's what, I don't have time, next time we'll talk about. If you read the the Sridi Sacharita, there was a great Ramdas, he reads the Vishnu Sahasranamam. So then that guy get attached to that book. Lord Baba wants to give it to another devotee called Shyama, just to teach this guy. This guy every day is reading that book, but he doesn't want to say. Then Baba says, what did you learn? Every day you chant Vishnu Sahasranamam, but you get attached to that. So you should not have mamata, attachment, but samata. That means, I was told, samatvam yoga vichite, equal-minded. So there is, even as you said, Bible or Vishnu Sahasra, anything, there also you need to have that. So answer to that question, constant practice and detachment. This is what Lord Krishna gave the solution, and Swami said that. Okay, we'll continue next week. Sai Ram.